One of my all-time favorite Inazuma 11 experiences was playing Chrono Stones for the first time. I had absolutely no idea what the plot was, I didn't know who Chrono Storm was, and I didn't know which historical figures we were going to go visit. In fact, I remember being so disappointed when I learned that there were two historical figures in the same era, because it meant that the total amount of eras we'd visit would be less. But reminiscing on that memory got me thinking, what if Chrono Storm consisted of OG Raimon characters? Or by Raimon I mean general OG trilogy characters. Who would match with which historical figures? So without further ado, let's just dive straight in. So the way I've done this, I've taken each description for each historical figure, and I've tried to figure out which OG character it most applies to. So for instance, the first one is a true game maker who combines stillness and motion by seeing through the individual to understand the whole. This was obviously for Nobunaga, and it was originally given to Ricardo, but for this, I'm gonna give it to Jude Sharp. This is a pretty obvious one. I mean, it's game maker, it's tactician, Ricardo, Jude are kind of parallels of each other anyway, so yeah, Jude, easy. Imagine Jude with Setsuna boost, that would be awesome. The second one, a charismatic defender who rouses the courage of the team to change into an iron wall defense. Now, this one I had a lot of fun with. This is obviously for Joan of Arc, it was originally given to Gabby, but I looked at a charismatic defender part who rouses the courage of the team. This was the part I focused on, and so I decided to go with Hurley Kane. To me, when you're thinking about a charismatic defender, you can't really get any more charismatic than Hurley. He is the life of the party, so for me, he makes so much sense. Number 3, an Iron Wall goalkeeper with the power and toughness to subdue an empire. This is obviously for Liu Bei, and we're of course giving this to Mark Evans. I mean, come on, how can it not be Mark? Number 4, a supremely accurate midfielder who uses prophetic vision to strike at the enemy's heart. Now, I was between two people for this. Eric Eagle and Caleb Stonewall. I've ended up going for Caleb. Caleb's obviously meant to be this super technical player, so for me, he totally fits this. Strike at the enemy's heart. All the language just feels like it suits Caleb's persona more. Though I do think Eric is a really interesting shout. The supremely accurate part for me, especially, just makes a lot of sense for him. So yeah, it could be either of the two, but I'm gonna go for Caleb. Oh, and by the way, guys, definitely make sure you're letting me know down in the comments who you would pick for each power, and also like and subscribe while you're at it. A super skilled midfielder with a heart as wide as the sea who can provide a bridge between attack and defense. This is the power for Ryoma Sakamoto, and I'm giving it to Jordan Greenway. Focused on two things here. First, a heart as wide as the sea. For some reason, I think Jordan, to me, just feels like he's that, that big, kind human being. He's quite a happy guy in 3. I feel like it makes sense. And then 2, a bridge between attack and defense. Well, Jordan's all about dribbling. I mean, warp drive, lightning sprint, all that. So yeah, no, definitely Jordan. An ultra-fast striker with lightning pace to making daring attacks. This is for Okita, and I mean, of course, it's Axel Blaze. I don't know if Axel has lightning pace, but definitely the daring attacks part. Then we've got a flying defender who has complete mastery and dominance of the skies. This is Par's description, and of course was originally given to Saw. I'm gonna give it to my favorite player of all time, Archer Hawkins. I do really wish that Archer was given more like flying stuff, more sky stuff, but I mean, his hair is literally like a hawk or whatever, so I feel like that, that fits. Vac Attack's like slightly windy, and the other wind player I have for a different pick down the line. So yeah, let's go with Archer Hawkins here. A dynamic midfielder in whom lodges ancient power and who carves the ocean with mighty fangs. Now just heads up, this might have been the hardest one out of all of them. I spoke to Taylor the Toaster about this, and he came up with some interesting ideas, namely Xavier Foster, Dave Quagmire. But for me, there was just something about the lodges ancient power and carves the ocean with mighty fangs that really felt like Thor Stoutberg. I don't know, but he's kind of sea-based. I mean, he's from Okinawa. He's a midfielder who may not necessarily be dynamic, but he's definitely powerful. I mean, he's got Super Sumo Stomp, he's got Thunder Beast. So no, I do really like this pick for Thor. And obviously this is Big's power. A fantasy sweeper who, although ferocious, is blessed with vast wisdom and intelligence. Now this is Master Dragon's power, and I've given it to Nathan Swift. This is obviously demanding a libero, and I feel like Nathan suits that. Nathan, he seems pretty smart, all things considered. Ferocious, I mean, he was literally the main villain of one of the games, so yeah, go on then. Number 10, a midfield monarch with immovable courage and unshakable power who unites the nation. This is a really fun one, and there were two people I was between. Eric Eagle again, and Paolo Bianchi. I've ended up going for Paolo Bianchi. Let me explain that pick. Paolo definitely has the immovable courage part, the unshakable power, definitely. He can be a midfielder, why not? and unites a nation, well, I wanted to go with the captain of an international team. I know technically Nakata's the captain for Italy or whatever, but Paolo basically is, and Paolo can definitely, to me, unite a nation. So yeah, it has to be Paolo for this pick. Though Edgar would also be an interesting one. And finally, power number 11. This is Hurricane Zeta's power, an all-around player who can pierce any defense with Raging Fire and Quaking Thunder. This is an interesting one. I want to kind of ignore the dub description, and I want to focus instead on the Japanese one. An all-rounder who pierces through all with the powers of the Scorching Hot Wind and Earth-Shattering Thunder. The big changes here is getting rid of Fire and replacing it with Hot Wind, Hurricane, and Thunder. Ooh, who does that kind of seem like? All-arounder? Sean Frost. Yes, maybe it's a bit of an unconventional pick because it doesn't explicitly say the words ice or wolf or anything like that, but I think I provided you with enough reasoning. And Sean, to me, has the power to be the Hurricane Zeta Mixie Max. I Am the Almighty on Sean Frost would go so hard. So yeah, those are my 11 picks, and that is my OG Ultimate 11 / Chrono Storm. But let me know down in the comments who yours would be. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that classic YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.